So here's a wonderful question that a lot of people have asked me over time as a teacher, and that is every single person that you meet, that you bond with, a soul tie or a soulmate? And I have the answer for you here today. So firstly, a lot of people are going to feel this wild connection with a lot of people. When you walk into a room, the natural intuitive ability of all human beings is going to gravitate more towards those that have a similar vibration. So it's kind of like a song. You're in the room and there's this aura around everybody, and that aura is a form of music. You can't hear it, but your consciousness can. And so some over here might have a loud heavy metal thing going on, others might have like a classical vibe, and etc. You know where I'm going with this. And you're gonna gravitate towards that vibration, that music that's similar to your own, because if you go off over here into the music that's not so much like yours, it's gonna sound like noise. Have you ever tried to play two totally different songs over top of each other and heard the effects of that? And when that music is played over top, it's really crazy. So a lot of the times, if you've ever been around that kind of noise, so to speak, you want to get away from it, you know? So you'll walk into a room and you already know who you're going to get along with intuitively versus who you think you might have a good vibe with. And that's where a lot of friends kind of move toward each other in those scenarios. But just because you've met someone and you've instantly bonded doesn't mean that they have anything to do with your past. It doesn't mean that you have a soul tie or karma or anything like that with them. Actually, it means that they're a new connection. New connections are being made in every lifetime, just like you're repeating old connections to work out things with them. In fact, you may not even have karma with some of those past connections. They might just come popping up into your life to remind you of a lesson that you needed to finish, or to bring up a new one that needs to come up. And they might have just been that soul that agreed to help you to learn them. However, the newer souls come in because you might have a need of something. It isn't always a lesson that a person comes into your life for. Sometimes it's just that you're in need of comfort or friendship or love, or maybe some words of wisdom. And this new soul has offered to play that part for you in this life. And so they become a new connection. However, not all connections last throughout the entire lifetime. Some do, the very important ones do. But some of those newer ones, even the older ones, once they serve their purpose, you might find that they go. And unfortunately, it's human nature to become attached and to emotionally involve yourself with someone that a lot of times we don't let go. You know, a lot of people don't let go. They hang on, and the relationship has already run its course, whether it's love or friendship. And after a while, it becomes stagnant, and each person grows, or maybe one of them does, and they find that it's time to move on. But because of the attachment and the emotional investment, they're afraid to. They don't want to hurt the other person, and they certainly don't want to make a mistake that if they do move along, they find that life's a little worse without that individual too. But when you're on the path of awakening, you have to let go of fear. Fear is going to hold you back in every single way, especially in regards to connections, because when it comes to the ties that bind, so to speak, whether new or old, when it's time for you to experience something in your higher self journey and it's calling you, if you have too much of an attachment to somebody else to let go and go answer that calling, then you're limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself, you're holding yourself back from that growth. And even if the experience seems small, it could be huge and significant to you. And it also holds the other person back because they're probably doing the same by standing by you. You both have something to accomplish, something to achieve, but yet you don't want to part. And neither one of you can do it together for some reason. As you know, life will always have its limitations. And so most people will just stay where they're at rather than say, hey, I'll be back later. A lot of people are fearful that that person won't be there later. But here's the thing. If you let go of fear and you let go of attachments, then you can say, if it's meant to be there when I'm back, it's meant to be. It'll be there. And if it's not, then it's not. And it makes more room for new things to come through. And that's the beauty of life. It's the change, it's the experience, it's the people that you come to meet that play a significant role in your journey. But if you're too fearful and you're hanging on to those ties, then you're not going to have the experiences that you're meant to have, and you're going to hold the other person back or hold each other back at that. And that's very damaging for growth. It really, really is. Now, always remember that. The saying that goes like this: if you love it, let it go. If it's meant for you, it'll come back and it's yours. Or it goes somewhat along those lines, right? So move forward and go forward with your experiences. Enjoy the ties that you have, the new ones and the old, and enjoy them while they're there, because once they serve their purpose, they're going to go. And you can't be sad about that either, even in terms of loss and grief, because that person's time in your life has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye. And you have to let them go on their transition and to, go off in their next experience as well too, even though it hurts. But you have to understand it's a part of their path, their journey, their choice. And if you're busy hanging on in any one of these scenarios, then you're definitely holding yourself and the person back. But no, not everyone that you meet is going to be a soul tie or connection from the past, but they could be something new or momentarily. And either or, they're just as significant, just as important, and as exciting. Bye-bye for now.